Against all odds, God restored Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria back to the nation of Israel during the War of 1967. Lost to Israel for thousands of years, this region contains the lifeblood and heartbeat of the Jewish people. Yet, the struggle has not been easy. Propaganda, terrorism, and international pressure have been the constant companion of the courageous men and women who have dared to call this place home. I'm Julie Cerrone, and these are the stories of Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria, Israel's biblical heartland, God's land.
So Zev, we're sitting inside King David's palace. Tell me about this place.
So it goes back to 1867. Up until 150 years ago, everyone thought the old city of Jerusalem, surrounded by the iconic old city walls, that was biblical Jerusalem. The Jerusalem of David, Solomon, Hezekiah, prophets like Isaiah and Jeremiah. Until 1867, when Queen Victoria of England wants to discover the treasures of the Bible. So she sends a man by the name of Captain Charles Warren to the Holy Land to find those treasures. And of course, if you want to find the treasures of the Bible, you'll go to Jerusalem. And if you're going to go to one place in Jerusalem, you will go to the biblical Mount Moriah, the Temple Mount. Except in 1867, you have the Ottomans, the Muslims controlling this area. And they say, Charles, we're sure you're a great guy, but you are not going to dig up the Temple Mount. Today it's home to 2 Islamic shrines. And so now Charles Warren has a problem. So he comes down the slopes of Mount Moriah, the Temple Mount, walks through the Kidron Valley down below, and he discovers the Gihon Spring, the life-giving waters of biblical Jerusalem. And he ends up coming up with a theory that the original biblical city of Jerusalem, the city of David, the place where Jerusalem began, is not to be found inside the walls of the old city, but just outside next to where the water is. And over the next 150 years, the city of David, the place where Jerusalem began, becomes one of the most archaeologically excavated sites in the world, the most excavated site in this country. And today everyone knows Charles Warren was in fact correct. There are those, certainly in the United Nations, Palestinian leadership, and elsewhere, who deny the heritage of Jerusalem. In 2016, UNESCO passed a resolution talking about the significance of Jerusalem, except not to you and not to me, not to Christians and not to Jews. According to this resolution, the significance of Jerusalem, of the Temple Mount, of the Western Wall is exclusive only to one group, and that is Islam. And they go on to condemn the archaeological excavations taking place in Jerusalem. The city of David, of course, is the largest one. Now you might wonder, why would anyone condemn archaeology? You would think they'd be supportive of uncovering the heritage here. But the answer is really very simple. If you want to deny Jerusalem's biblical heritage, if you want to deny the heritage that Jews and Christians share here in Jerusalem, then you will hate a place like the city of David. Why? Because there's no place anywhere in the world more so than where we're sitting right now, here in the city of David, the place where Jerusalem began, that shows not simply as a matter of faith, but as a matter of fact that Jerusalem's biblical heritage is true, that you could see it, you could touch it, you could walk on it. It's what I call an inconvenient truth. And therefore, there are forces who are both literally and figuratively trying to bury this place. And we view ourselves in the city of David as being on the front lines of that battle to preserve Jerusalem's biblical heritage for the benefit not of millions, but of billions around the world who view this place as a center of meaning, identity, and faith.
King David was here. King Solomon was here. King Hezekiah was also here. The city of David proves that the Jewish people have lived and thrived in Jerusalem for thousands of years. Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria are not occupied territories. They're not even part of the West Bank. They are Israel's biblical heartland, God's land. If you would like more information about the people and places of Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria, please visit www.keepgodsland.com.